Hi YouTube. I wanted to make a quick video and talk about a topic that I think is really important, and that is natural birthing and the first-time mom. It had kind of been in my mind before I had really done a lot of research about having a natural birth. I knew that the option was out there, but I kind of felt like, well, it's my first baby, so I will feel more comfortable like being in a hospital environment, just because I don't, I've never experienced this all before, and what if something goes wrong? Which is a legitimate way to think or to feel. However, through more research and talking to other first-time moms who've had a hospital birth versus a home birth or birth center birth, and also my own experience with my birth, I found how important it is that when you're going through your first pregnancy and your first birth experience, that it be a natural birth, or in an environment that encourages that. I'll make some other videos on why I ended up choosing to have a natural birth at a birth center, and about my experience in my water birth. But I found that my friends who went the hospital route, literally 9 out of 10 of them ended up with a cesarean. All first-time moms, all very healthy women, active lifestyles, and 10 out of 10 of them had some sort of intervention. So, going back to what I said, that a lot of times we feel like, oh, well, this is my first birth, my first baby, I need to be in a hospital, and then maybe my subsequent pregnancies or births, I will venture out and go all natural. But for them, unfortunately, that may have been their thinking. But now that they have had cesareans, and some of them pretty terrifying birth experiences, they are not really in a place where they have that option anymore. It is possible to have a vaginal birth after cesarean, but it's harder to find a midwife that will accept you as a client, or a birth center that's accepting patients with previous cesarean sections. And the risk is greater whenever you're trying to do a VBAC. So I think if you're a first-time mom who's kind of got the mentality, well, I will have this baby in the hospital because I don't know what to expect, and I feel more comfortable there, and then later, other babies I will have at home, or I will, try to go all natural. I think reconsidering that, the option of a natural birth at home or at a birth center is really critical for first-time moms to set the precedent of what their other births can be like. You really miss out. Sadly for those other moms that I'm friends with, they have babies, but they've never had the experience of giving birth. Some of them were scheduled C-sections. Others were emergency C-sections that were related to interventions. One or two of them may have, really, I can see they were really necessary. But the other moms, they weren't, in my opinion. They were at the time, but they didn't have to be. It didn't have to be that way. If they had gone to an environment that, didn't put them on a timetable, or didn't, use all these interventions that caused complications, then they wouldn't have been put in that situation. But I just feel, I just kind of cringe when first-time moms say, that they're going to have their baby in the hospital, because I know, the likelihood that they will end up with some sort of intervention that they weren't planning on, or even a C-section is really high. And that just messes things up for you, or just makes it not impossible, but makes it more difficult to have, or to be confident in having natural births for subsequent births. So, I'm a first-time mom. My labor was 19 hours. It was, they call it labor for a reason, but it was definitely doable. It was, an amazing experience. It's pain with a purpose. It doesn't last forever. And I'm just really happy with the outcome of my birth, and knowing from the beginning what birth is all about and what it can be like, when you allow it to take its natural course and allow your body to do what it's meant to do without interventions, without, people putting you on a timetable, and being in an environment that allows your body to relax and to, be free to move about and help baby descend. Honestly, now that I've had a natural birth and I know what a birth can be like, and how great the experience is and how wonderful it can be, I will tell you, very honestly, I am terrified of going to a hospital, because the environment is so, cold and sterile, and so it is scary. It's scary. I can't imagine. I don't even want to try and think of trying to labor on your back for hours upon hours. That, I labored on the birth ball, on the toilet, on in the birth pool, and on the bed, and the laying on my back in the bed was the most painful, the most excruciating, uncomfortable position that I tried during my labor. So to be confined to that, it would be horrible. So I can kind of understand why, women who've tried to have natural births in a hospital environment, that they didn't really have resources or access, or someone there to really know how to help them labor naturally, would be scared of trying again naturally. I can understand and sympathize with them now, but it doesn't have to be that way. So first time moms, you have this opportunity that you only get one time to have your first baby, and set the precedent for what your subsequent births will be like. And I'm grateful that I don't have any regrets. I don't have any, I don't have a terrifying birth story. I didn't have a horrific experience. I didn't have rude nurses. I didn't have any unplanned, interventions. I didn't have a C-section. I didn't have any tearing. I was in a very safe and relaxing and encouraging environment throughout my birth. So, and that is what I would wish for all other moms, especially first-time moms, to have the courage to take a leap of faith and trust their bodies to do what they're designed to do, and have a natural birth, whether it's at home or a birth center. It is possible to have a natural birth in a hospital, but I wouldn't recommend that route, honestly, because, believe it or not, most hospital nurses and doctors aren't trained in how to handle natural births. They aren't trained in how to help a mom achieve the goal of a natural birth. They aren't set up to do that. They're set up for you to be laying on a table flat on your back for the doctor to be able to deliver the baby. And you don't want to be in the throes and blows of labor and delivery, trying to fight for what you want out of your birth experience. You shouldn't have to do that. So, and you don't have to. Just don't go to the hospital. And not everyone has that choice. I understand. But for the moms that do and are healthy and are have the option, I say that I would strongly encourage you to give it some thought. If you have a good midwife, she won't take you into her care if you're not physically fit enough or healthy enough to do that. So that's not really a concern. But if anyone has any questions about natural birth or finding, natural birth resources or, a midwife in your area, I can maybe send you some information, some links to be able to find that information for you. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on natural birth and the first-time mom. All right, bye.